Yeah, I really hope you talk about it. That's what I want to talk about on the show tonight.
Is it the beer that you're drinking? Because that sounds interesting.
That's not what we're talking about. Welcome, everybody, to another episode here of the Wish You Were a Beer Show. Thank you so much for stopping by. This is a weekly show. We do it every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you are interested in beer or know folks that like to talk about beer, make sure that you like and subscribe, follow along with us everywhere you can get us. You will see all of our beautiful social medias down at the bottom. I like to highlight that because our social media game is, I mean, when you think about some of the biggest influencers in the world are probably commenting on our social media right now.
Yeah.
So go check that out.
They're actually using us to influence how they are influencing people.
We're influencing influencers, which is just a level I didn't think I was prepared for.
Yeah, but here we are.
Living our best goddamn lives.
That just reminded me that we are not live on Instagram tonight.
Oh, did you not push the button?
Well, no, it's there's a lot more details with the Instagram, and I did not prepare for it. So
that's fine.
That's
I'm
right.
okay with it.
We don't, you know, our Instagram live is the way it's all set up doesn't work quite well, anyways. So
I agree.
You know, maybe I'm just mad about it tonight, and that's
fine.
Stick it to the Instagram, man. I'm for it.
Zuckerberg.
But again, what'd you say?
But it is on Facebook, so
perfect.
Well, never mind. I guess we're still a fan.
My grandparents are gonna love it. If you follow along all our social medias, we do a lot of individual beer things throughout the course of the week and on the weekends as well. Especially now that Phil's back stateside with us, we get a lot more chances to follow along with him through those as well, which is a blast.
Yes.
If you look up at the top of the screen, that's got our website, wishyouwereabeershow.com. If you swing through there, you can find a good record of all of our past shows. You can find some beer blogs, some information about us individually. And then you can also find our beautiful, beautiful merch store. So if you want to support the show, go buy some merch, flash it around town. The merch, not your, your other stuff. Not your stuff. But that's one of the easiest ways to support the show. Pick up a little bit of merch, buy us a beer. There's a couple different options on there. So make sure you follow along with us. As always, I'm Daniel. This is Tiffany, and that's Phil, not in the Caribbean.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how we're going to say it every time now.
You're in a different room again now. So now we just have to ask every time, where the hell are you? You're like, where's Waldo?
It's where in the world is
Carmen Sandiego?
But it's Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in a basement. So, you know, back to that.
Yeah.
Could be a bathtub.
Yeah, it could. I mean, I've come a long way from bathtub. But I am in Massachusetts now. So last week's show was in New York. Now I'm in Massachusetts, and here I am.
Very good. I dig it. Are you going to have a beer on the show tonight, or are you just...
I am, and I'm having one that is, I don't know if you've seen this one.
Okay.
It's a Gansett. It's called Atlantic. It's a light lager at 3.5%.
I love it.
The greatest part about this, a 6-pack was $8.
Yeah, 100%.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Why do you think 30 racks of Narragansett exist? They're dirt cheap for 30 beers.
I know. I'm so used to getting one beer for $8 to $10. That it was
Right.
I was like, I walked up and the guy was like $8. I was like, did you get all 6?
Yeah.
You know, like, did you scan them all? And he was like, what are you talking about, sir? And so that's what I'm having tonight.
I dig it.
What are y'all having?
We're having a couple of different beers. So if you keep up on our show stuff, we went to the anniversary for Elation Brewing 2 weekends ago for their 6-year anniversary.
Yes.
So I'm having their Hell's Yes, which is a Hell's Lager. Nice and easy, 5.1% as well.
Delicious.
It is delicious.
Yes. And I'm having a Pilsner from VBC that is a banger.
Ooh, I like that can.
Yeah, the black and white can is fun.
So anyway, delicious as always. And I'm always mad at them for nailing all of the lagers. Well, they nail pretty much everything, but in general, the lagers, because they are very tasty.
Yes, they are. Well, good. I'm glad we're all having a beer on a beer show, because every now and again I worry about it. Like somebody's taking a week off drinking or something.
That was
stupid.
just me in January a year ago. I don't know. Not this year.
It still hurts, all right, Tiffany?
It still hurts. I still think about it.
Listen, I proved that I could and that I wasn't addicted to alcohol. So now I never need to do it again.
That's fair.
Yeah, you made it 30 days, and therefore you are not addicted.
31.
That's kind of how AA works, from what I understand of it.
Yeah, I could have gotten a chip. Is that what they're called? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I've never been through the program.
A coin.
Not yet. There's still time.
There's always time. Always time.
Gold CG.
Yeah. Oof. Good old Carol. I did get a new shirt that I'm excited about that I do want to touch on really fast, though.
Yeah.
It has this beautiful, like, knuckle hand, but cat piece of machinery on the front of it.
Is it a cat or a dog?
Could go either way.
I think it's a dog.
I'm looking at it backwards. But I'm less excited about the front brand of the shirt. Years ago, we ran into a gentleman at Max's Tap House, which is up in Fells Point in Baltimore, who was just
fantastic area, fantastic person, fantastic spot to go drink a beer.
Yeah, they have crazy amounts of beer on draft and bottles. Really great venue. And come to find out, he runs a program called the Humble Beer Society. So we've been keeping up with him over the years since we've met him, and he put out a limited release of this shirt. He's a big wrestling fan, like WWE fan. And so his Humble Beer Society, he put on the back of it in the logo of NWO, the old school wrestling. And I was like, oh my God. He posted it online, and I was like, Scooter, I don't care what you're doing, but you need to send me one of those.
Yeah.
Like, stop what you're doing.
That's great.
Yeah, but he's a really sharp guy. He drinks a ton of beer and does a lot of
But
different
he also
beer
doesn't
stuff
have a
as
problem
well.
because we cannot diagnose that
Correct,
on the show.
correct. I'm not a licensed therapist, psychologist. Super nice guy. Get a chance, follow Humble Beer Society as well. They're great folks. So just wanted to give a quick shout out to them before we get to the old news desk.
Yes.
But before we get to the news desk, don't forget we are going to be playing trivia tonight through Kahoot. So the Kahoot pin code is at the top of the chat. We'll roll it down here at the banner as well. So make sure you go to kahoot.it, or if you have the app, you can put in our game pin code, make a team name, and here in a little bit, you can play some trivia with us.
Bonus for cool team names.
But yeah, it's the points are made up and there's no winners, but bonus for good team names.
Yeah, you get an extra few points.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, we just talk about it and you feel really cool about yourself.
Oh, that does check out. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you need an ego boost, feel free
You've come to the right place.
Feel free to throw in a cool name.
Because if you watch us for 45 minutes and don't feel better about yourself, I don't know how to help you.
So far, you can't take this one because it's already taken. We have Ace of Base Malts. So,
God, that's
That
cool.
is good.
yeah,
That is
going
good.
well so far in there.
Yeah,
Good luck.
actually, at this point, nobody else joined.
Yeah.
That team name wins currently. So, but that being said, we're going to start the show historically like we like to, which is a little segment that we like to call Beer News.
Awesome. So this is our segment in the show where we talk about something that is in the news about beer or beer adjacent. I was looking through the interwebs trying to find something interesting that wasn't about like this brewery is going under, which seems to be common. And there is a piece of legislation that was actually just put up for I don't think they voted on it yet, but it is being reviewed by other Congress peoples. And essentially it's called the Cheers Act. So in 2005, there was a piece of legislation that passed that basically gave a bunch of tax breaks for the hospitality industry. And so this one is building on that for anyone who has a draft line, because that wasn't included initially. So it is a bipartisan bill, which I think is exciting these times.
It's beer. It
Yeah,
better be bipartisan.
pretty much draft lines. Everyone likes draft beer. But yeah, so they were saying that, about 30% of beer these days that's consumed is coming from the craft industry. So this is a way to help bolster their ability to write off some various things in taxes. So if you have draft lines and draft equipment, it is now eligible. Well, it will be, in theory, given a tax break as well as some of the other equipment.
As well as like kegs, like purchasing new kegs, things like
beer
that.
shows, YouTube beer shows.
Our shirts.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You should be able to write off all of our merch now, so purchase all of it.
Yeah, that would be great. No, but it does. So basically, it's offering a small or sometimes larger tax breaks depending on the volume. Anything that's connected to a draft beer line.
Yep.
So when you're talking about potentially purchasing tap handles, when you're looking at keg replacement, line replacement, these are all now write-offs that you can use at the end of the year for some tax breaks to try to lighten that burden, because none of that stuff is historically cheap.
Yes.
Now, but it's only this one's only currently in Illinois and Nevada.
No.
Those are the two okay.
bipartisan members who have put this up and they own it.
So this is a nationwide,
correct?
Potentially, okay.
Yes.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yes. So very cool.
Here's my question now. Do you think everybody will get greedy and be like, "Man, we got like a $400,000 tax write-off this year. Beer's $9 a pint now. Now we'll save money and make money."
With shrinkflation and inflation often going hand in hand, maybe a pint is now 1 ounce less, but charged the same. It could be a litany of things. Yeah. So I think if I attempted to predict the future on the show, it would go poorly for me. Sure. So I will not.
Well, I can tell you exactly how historically my shrinkflation goes.
It's cold water.
Cold water.
We've all been there.
Good Lord, have we? Well, not.
I have not.
2 out of 3 of us in the room have all been there.
I was just talking about yours, and we've all been there.
My ovaries go further inside, but you can't tell. Not on the outside.
Doesn't show up well. I love it. I think this is a great thing. Tax breaks are always a beautiful thing. But oh yeah, that is true. I did see that. There's a push for a 0.5 limit for DUIs nationwide, which is interesting. 0.08. So that is significantly lower in the terms of 0.0s.
Yeah.
So that's
like one beer.
That's a beer and like a half maybe for the average person within an hour, and you could blow a 0.05, which is a little harsh.
I'll drink a little bit more of these and I'll be all right.
Trust me, I could throw some Gansett down the hatch.
Well, that's the light version.
I don't care. It's even better.
Yeah.
It's actually quite tasty, I will say. I thought it was going to be very watery, but it's got some nice flavor.
Nice.
And we'd be able to write the entire thing off if it was a
Andrew,
church.
if we started a church brewery, we could not pay for the property and write the tax lines off.
I have some ideas.
But there is a brewery in that same area in Baltimore, actually.
Ministry of Brewing.
That's in like a 1800s church. They replaced the pulpit
with the brewing,
with the mash tun and kettle.
Could we make beer a religion?
Yes.
I mean, the monks are doing it.
You can make anything a religion.
Yeah.
Jesus, take I love it.
Amen.
Sorry. Amen. Yes. Amen. So
we got another good name coming in at trivia.
Okay.
Cahuta Matata.
I love it.
The two names have historically become one of my favorite things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for making this entertaining for us as well.
Correct. With that being said, don't forget, we are going to get into trivia here shortly. So if you haven't had the opportunity yet, go to Kahoot.it, or if you have the Kahoot app, put in our game pen.
533101.
I mean, it's on the screen.
Yeah. Well, maybe someone is audibly listening and they did not realize that we were
going to be hard for them to keep up on Kahoot audibly.
I mean, we read it.
Okay. I'm just.
Actually, it'll be better for them because they can see it faster than we probably read it. So
it is.
That's fair. Yeah. So, okay, great.
533101.
Now we're an injury helpline. Who gave in? 533101. 533101.
We need help.
It's got to be a jingle.
Yeah.
533101.
I thought you said sing it.
I did.
Oh no, that was not singing.
That was a jingle. I'm gonna also create the music for our church brewery.
Oh, God.
So more to come on that.
Oh God.
Oh God. If you were just listening to audio.
Yeah, I apologize.
Uh,
Hope you're not driving.
Off the road.
So as we talked about last week, if you didn't catch up on the show, we did talk about crystal malts.
not meth.
Correct, not meth. Tonight we're going to be doing some more base level malts or base malts that are used pretty historically throughout a bunch of different types of beer. If we were intelligent on the show, we would have done this topic last week and then jumped into specialty malts or specific malts.
But here we are.
But you know what? We're just out here
trying
trying it out.
Yeah.
Playing little games.
We got to keep it on the shows, you know. Maybe they came in, they're like, I'm excited for crystal malts, and then it was the first one, and they were like, oh fuck yeah, this is great.
What are the odds?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to listen to any more episodes because they were just waiting for crystal malts, you know.
And they were just happy they didn't have to pay us for them. Again, crystal malts.
M-A-L-T.
M-A-L-T. Yes. Yeah, but tonight we're going to be talking about base malts. That's going to be what some of the trivia is based around. Sorry, I mean Austin Powers you. We're going to be talking about base malts. That's what the trivia is based around.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. So if you know anything about that, or if you're in the chat and you're a brewer, I hope you don't miss any. That really concerns me, actually.
I mean, listen.
Because then I'm either really wrong or...
I misread the trivia earlier and tried to argue with you.
Yes, you did.
Middle of the day, I'm like in and out of meetings, and I was like, that's not right.
Question
It was my favorite. You came in so hard. You're like, there's something wrong. Here are screenshots of why it's wrong.
And in the screenshot, she proved it was not wrong.
Well, no. Well, so I just misread.
I know.
I misread. It was, you'll see. We'll talk about it.
There's an open chat email chain between all three of us that throughout the week we exchange information
like
on
beer news.
And every now and again, Tiffany comes in real hot.
Listen,
real
listen.
we got an email about it. Then we got texts about it.
I didn't know which one to respond to. I had to check both of them to see when they came in.
Listen. I was bored. No, I was at the doctor's. I was in the waiting area. So I was like, they were late for calling me back. So I was already in like why even have appointment times? And then I was like, that is incorrect. And it was just because I misread it. So
Dave.
Jokes on me.
Dave.
I'm so happy Dave has been coming back.
I know.
We lost him for a while, so I don't know what changed. Dave, did you get fired again?
No, I think his work shift just changed. Remember, he went to a certain time that he couldn't be involved.
Yeah, he picked like a second shift or something.
Yeah, he was doing some stripping. That's always a night gig.
Always. Yeah.
Always. I mean, because with a body like Dave's, you're not going to be day shift. You're A squad.
Yeah. Thursday, Friday night.
He's just the DJ at the strip club with that.
I didn't say what he was doing. Y'all assumed.
I mean, you said with a body like that. I mean, I feel like that's really.
He's got to have good buds.
That's actually his DJ name, DJ Good Buds. All right, so you got a minute or two more before we start up this trivia app. So if you haven't joined yet, again, it's scrolling down at the bottom. Start a team name, play along. Don't forget with Kahoot, it's not only about getting the right answer, but it's also about getting it faster. So you get points if you're the faster person to get it correctly.
Oh my God.
Oh,
sounds like a great Thursday.
God.
Dave, I'm sorry. Yeah. I've had worse things stuck in my ass. So I have sympathy for you, but.
And they're always 6 inches.
Oh, God, I'm glad you went there. I was going to set it up slower, but right on top of it, Phil. I appreciate that about you.
I mean, what you did in college is none of my business.
2 times. All right. Well, let's get it. Are we going to call this one history and facts, or are we going to call it trivia?
So loud.
Bleeding from the ears. That clip is so loud.
I'm going to wake baby up for Kahoot.
I love it. Yeah, baby is here. Ace of Base Malts, the Lager Losers.
We lost Kahuta Matata, which I'm sad
but sometimes that happens. It'll bounce in and out. And remember, you can join
Well,
anytime.
there was also
the
Saison's greetings.
the
I don't know where that one was. That was a
the
good
pin for Kahoot is at the top of the chat. If you happen to join late and still want to play along, have at it. If you haven't made a team name yet, you can join whenever. So again, you get points for being right and points for being the fastest and being right. So keep that in mind.
And what's tonight about again?
Malt.
Base malts.
Base malts. Let's get this thing started.
Sometimes I think you've never even done this. Oh, it doesn't go to a clip? Sorry, I thought we were going to be on base diving into malts. Well done. Every time I look forward to that first statement. All right, so base malts are the major contributor of what in the beer brewing process? Carbohydrates, enzymes, proteins, or all of the above?
Ooh. I mean, it's always great to go with all of the above in these things for me.
It's a safe bet.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Oh, and it was right.
Yeah. So there's a reason that these are called base malts. When you think about them, they really are the backbone of just about every beer in some capacity. So all the things that you need beer to do are done through these malts from start to finish. Because if you're not getting the right carbohydrates or enzymes or proteins out of it, the alcohol is not going to do what it's supposed to do. The yeast isn't going to do what it's supposed to do.
it's gonna taste like shit.
It's going to taste like I made it, which is why I don't start a brewery, Vero, to your earlier comments. I love tax write-offs, but boy, I would make shit beer.
Well, you could start one and just hire someone else to make it.
But then I'd have to pay them.
Yeah.
I'm more stingy than I am intelligent. No.
Hence the tax write-offs.
Yeah, it's the tax
You'd
write-off.
rock
You can
the
write off
front
your dog.
You know,
What do you say?
you'd rock the front of house until some sort of lawsuit with whatever.
Oh,
you
yeah.
say.
Yeah. We wouldn't be allowed to have an HR department. We wouldn't be allowed to let any type of filming go on.
Okay.
So, yeah, again, just keep in mind that the base malts, every piece of information that you'll see on them is about how they're the backbone of the beer.
Yep.
All right, let's see who's in the lead here.
If it's not Ace of Base
It
Malts,
is.
okay.
It's the base malts.
Oh, my God. Baby changing her diaper at 0?
I mean,
I'm just kidding. I like to give Team Baby a hard time, like it's an actual baby playing. That just seems so more entertaining in my mind.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that explains the score.
Yeah.
All right. True or false? Most base malts used in beer are 6-row malts. True or false?
I don't know the answer to this one. Do you, Tiffany?
This is the question that we went round and round about today by accident, just because of a misunderstanding.
Well, it's the way that it was written out. It said like correct.
We don't
Which-
need to go into the
We already
email.
got
Yeah.
It's fine. I just,
don't need to
my
go
brain
into
was
that
like,
one.
if you say
Very
correct,
clear.
that means true.
It was a misunderstanding.
It was.
Yeah.
I was wrong, and I've already admitted that a couple times. But
Yeah,
if you
I
need it
think
again,
I think we settled that.
okay.
So this is a false statement. There are obviously different types of malts, right? 2-row and 6-row are probably
Those are the two.
There is another one.
There is.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you're going to go into this, but you got to explain what this row means to me.
Yeah. So basically, when you're looking at sprouted barley, 2-row malt literally has a stem and 2 rows of the actual flowering portion of it coming off each side. So there's 1 row on one side, 1 row on the other side. 6-row malt literally has 6 rows of it all the way around that stem.
Oh,
So
wow.
they get 2 rows, but the 6 rows is a little more like almost like a hexagonal shape around the stem of the plant. So there's a couple different reasons for this. Your 2-row malts are a little bit thinner husk. They're a little more easy to work with in the grand scheme of things. A lot of your larger breweries will use some 6-row malts consistently. It's a little bit cheaper because the quality of the malt is not there because you get so many variances in 6 rows of malt. 2 rows of malt, you're going to get a lot of the same size, a lot of the same color, a lot of the same everything. 6 rows of it, you'll get some at the top that are bigger, some in the middle that are smaller because they get choked out by the other ones up above it. So there's a couple of different reasons why you would use one or the other, but the 6-row malts historically are a little bit cheaper because of the inconsistency in it. But when you're brewing on such a huge scale, it's pretty easy to mask some of those inconsistencies or to plan for them a little bit better. Most breweries in America, though, are using 2-row malts
It also helps. This is one of the things I sent.
Yeah.
But as far as your production quantity, it's like a 1 to 2% more that you'll be getting out of the 2-row versus the 6-row when it comes to actually brewing the beer.
Yep.
So
because exactly. And you also run into the issue of 6-row has a lot more husk material around the actual sprouted barley.
They have more protein in them.
Correct, but that also can help some of your larger breweries in the lautering process because it makes a louder bed that actually helps them in their brewing process. Whereas on a smaller system,
it
can hurt you.
The 6-row is good if you're doing more corn or rice
Correct.
when you're brewing.
Because you're going to be missing a lot of that protein and a lot of those carbohydrates.
Yeah.
So there's some reason for it, but 2-row malt consistently is
that's your standard.
That's your standard.
That's your base.
That's your basic bitch malt. Sorry. Good Lord.
Let's find out
let's see
who got this one right and who is Tiffany.
Baby coming in strong.
Baby woke up.
Ace of Base Malts, though. Got to be a brewer. 2 for 2.
Losers is really living up to that name.
Good grief.
There we go.
All right, question 3. Which of these options is not a base malt? Pilsner or Pilsen malt, pale malt, chocolate malt, or Vienna malt?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious if I had to take a guess here, because I feel like one of these is not a base thing.
One of these things is not like the others. Right. No, so you're absolutely right. Chocolate malt obviously is going to be a more specialty malt. It's going to be used in really heavier, darker beers. You're going to go for a lot more like malty, chocolatey flavor out of something like that. And your malts really do affect some of the coloring of the beer as well.
Yep.
So when you get a really dark malt like that, like a chocolate malt, it's going to be used in your darker beers.
Well, it's usually used on top of the other base malts.
Correct.
It's part of your build.
Correct.
So you'll see in the recipes, it usually starts with something. So if it's a darker beer, maybe it's like a Vienna malt, which is a traditionally a darker beer. And then you'd add the chocolate malt as your specialty malt to create the flavor profile that you're going for.
It's called a grain bill.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
So in this situation, chocolate malt does provide a chocolatey flavor.
So there are portions of it that you're going to get a chocolatey flavor out of that. There's ways to enhance that because your malts, you're going to get some flavoring out of a malt, but that's not going to be your like bold flavor profiles.
Unless it is.
It can be, but typically a lot of your flavoring is going to come from your hop additions, your adjunct additions in some capacity. But obviously if you're doing like a smash beer, a single malt and a single hop beer, then a lot of that flavor is going to come from that grain bill. To whereas if you've got 3 different hops involved and you're dry hopping 2 of them and doing all these wet hopping another one of them, most of your flavor is going to come from that hop variety versus the actual base malt of the beer.
Good.
You following all that? You should go to a brewery sometime, Phil. Like, goddamn. Gabriel, were you?
Gabriel was wet hopping, I guess, before.
I was trying to make a connection there, Phil, and thank you. Not only did you make a connection, you made it show related. In gold.
That's what I'm here for.
I know.
These slides. Ace of Base Malts has the highest answer streak.
And on fire.
On fire.
1995 NBA jams.
And we got a new person in that I've never read before, or seen, or touched. G-Spot is in.
It's funny because I couldn't find it on the screen. Okay.
I guess we've lost Logger Loser. They're out.
Or they just haven't. They're not on the scoreboard.
They're not even on the board.
That was so demeaning. Like the tone was not even on the board. All right.
But we've seen crazy things happen in the last.
We have.
So here we go.
All right.
Got a chance, you loser.
Question 4. On the Lovabond scale, which base malt has the lightest color? Pilsner or Pilsen malt, pale malt, Vienna malt, or Maris Otter?
Oh, that was quick. Didn't even have a chance to read them all.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It is the Pilsner.
it is the Pilsner malt. So when you're thinking about all your lighter beers, your Pilsner malt is historically going to be that a good portion of that grain bill for that reason. Pilsner comes in as low as like 2 on the Lovabond scale versus some of your like your Maris Otter is a darker. That one's at like 3, 3.5. Vienna malts over 3 as well. So when you get down to that like 2 scale, it's that's your nice crispy boys, really clean, really see-through, if you will.
I probably would have fallen for pale malt in this question.
Yeah, they're really close as well, actually. So those are used historically, sometimes even in conjunction with each other, to shoot for like a really clean Pilsner or a really clean pale ale, depending on, again, what else you're putting in it, if that makes sense.
I'm more of a Maris Bear than a Maris Otter.
Checks out.
You gotta do it in order.
Stop doing this high. Oh, I typed that out loud. Oh, I love it.
All right, let's see what we got going on.
Yeah, exactly. Think about your colors and what styles they are, and that is historically accurate.
Again, drinking a Pilsner, and it is very light.
Yep. Oh, Saison's greeting moving up, though.
All right.
Oh, look at that. G-Spot found 4th and then had a baby. That checks out.
Okay.
Last question. This is the last chance someone can take down Ace of Base Malts here.
Not going to happen.
Let's see. Sometimes it happens.
I don't remember the last question. Oh, no, I do. Yeah, okay. How many pounds of base malts are typically used per 5 gallons of water to make a beer? 3 to 5, 4 to 6, 7 to 12, 8 to 15.
Why is it a
That's a great
person?
picture.
I assumed it was a beer belly.
I don't know why I like that. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Ooh,
That's a beer baby.
No one quite knows this one. Let's see.
This is kind of a trick question, which is why nobody really knew it. And I wanted to keep something in here that's arguable. And kind of up for grabs.
It's not the one I argued against.
Yeah, I know. You argued after a true fact. This one's pretty arguable.
Arguable.
Yeah, you know.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
So
it's like
8 both. That stupid L in there. Yeah, so basically 8 to 15 pounds of base malt are typically used to make 5 gallons of water to make a beer. Here's the thing with this, and this is one thing that we talk about with brewers all the time. These are a lot of homebrew ratios when they're talking about this many pounds for 5 gallons of water. And homebrew doesn't 1-for-1 match up to brewing on a larger scale. Those numbers change exponentially, sometimes lower or higher, depending on the beer you're making on a bigger system or a smaller system.
Yeah.
So this was kind of a trick question because this is more in the homebrew world, not on like a 30-barrel system. Because if you were working with those ratios of 8 to 15 pounds for 5 gallons of water, if you just calculate that out to 30 barrels worth of beer, sometimes those grain bills would be way too large if you were going 1-for-1, or sometimes they'd be way too small if you were going 1-for-1. That's right, Marcus, and it's mainly because of pure ignorance. I put all these questions together, and then I spent a little time reading, and I'm like, oh, that one might be wrong. We'll keep it in there.
You got to strike up conversation in people, get them excited. Get them angry. That's how you get
riled up.
That's right. You don't really know who anyone is unless they've been punched in the face.
Well, we already know who won this since no one got this one right.
Correct.
Let's watch it anyways.
Don't tell me anything, Chad.
It's paused.
You know I'm recording
here.
the game.
Not this. I mean, it's like the TV is over here.
Saison's greeting though. Still didn't do too bad. I assume it was Ace of Base Malts. Yes, but however, I did get the brewer on the up in the air question. That was my goal. I never want a clean sweep where everyone gets them all right and feels good about their choices.
Yeah, we would never want that.
I agree.
Sounds terrible.
What's the point of, you can't even have fun if you're right all the time. Ask Tiffany.
I have a great time.
I love it.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic. Base malts are really interesting though. If you ever really like start to read up on them a little bit, especially from a beer recipe standpoint, about how much you can fluctuate some of those things and what it really does and doesn't do for the beer. Again, hops are, when we talked about hops like last month, a portion of those were really in depth. Everything that I've really actually read on base malts or crystal malts or some of these other specialty malts like the chocolate malt or anything like that, man, they go down the rabbit hole fast on just a single malt and how it's made and what it can do, and depending on where it's grown, what it can bring to the table. And shit, I don't know shit about anything. Every time I read, that's how I feel.
Proud of you.
Yeah, that's why I don't read, because then I know everything. As soon as I read, I'm like, fuck, I don't know anything.
I think it's interesting that they haven't really, I mean, I guess malts probably don't do as much. Like hops, everyone talks about hops. You know, you see those beers where it's like, we use 5 hops for this one beer. We use 3 hops for this one beer. Like, you never see anything that's like 5 malts used in this beer. Like,
the only time you see it is when it's a smash beer, a single malt, single hop beer.
Every once in a while they'll put like, you know, these are the 2 we use, but it's never, to your point, it's never what is highlighted. And I think the majority of that is because there's so much about the malts, but they are consistently boring, if that makes sense. And the hops are what is going to really change that flavor profile.
The hops are your beer nerds.
The hops are,
the malts are your brewer nerds. I mean, you think about having John Mallett on, who wrote the book on this shit. He's the godfather of malt. That's the thing. Like the beer, you don't even make it to the exciting part for beer drinkers of what hops are in it. Did you whirl? Did you wet up? Did you dry up? Without having these base malts and these grain bills that actually make the whole beer.
Yes.
So, and yeah, you're absolutely right, Abby. Tradition historically puts their grains or their malts on their beer cans every time.
And I love it.
I feel like we need to do a beer now that's named after, has something to do with malts. Like the next one we do, it has to be like something malt related. I was trying to think of something and I couldn't think of anything because that's how boring they are. But I think we got to come up with something for whatever our next beer is that we're making, because we have another beer coming out quite soon.
Yeah. So it got bumped a little bit. It's going to be probably mid to late April. But yeah, our beer with Coastal Fermentory, which is a foeder aged saison, is going to be coming out mid to late April. We've already gotten the chance to try it.
It's delicious.
Fucking delicious. And if you keep up on this show with any regularity, we made a t-shirt like a million years ago as a joke that was called Put It in My Foeder. And luckily, working with the folks over at Coastal, they were nice enough to let us name it whatever we wanted. So we're going to have a bottled beer coming out called Put It in My Foeder.
I'm not even mad about it.
I'm not mad about it either.
I think it's great.
And if you want to get get an early grab
the OG.
there it is.
There you go. And we did design the can that looks kind of like this.
Yeah.
Or the bottle. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. So
you got to get this now so that when you go to Coastal, you can wear it to show it off.
Oh, could you imagine if you showed up with a shirt on that's the beer name the day it came out? Everybody at Coastal would be like, what the fuck?
No, they'd be like, you must be wish you were a beer.
No, I don't know. I think they would expect it from us. But if it was just if a random person came in there with that shirt on, they'd be like, what? Hold on.
We also have the other version, which says put it in your foeder.
Depends on if you're a top or a bottom. No, I think those are fine terms.
I don't know.
Okay.
So 2 options here, depending on how you feel about your foeder.
Depending on what you put or don't put into your foeder. I still like my gourd shirt. I'm on board with this as well.
Gourd shirt.
Maybe another a little more time, the shirts will come back.
Yeah. Oh, the old put it in my foeder, the acronym. I'm a pimp.
I love the moment when everyone who watches us tries to get a new shirt made.
That's my favorite. I mean, Fuck around and find out. It might happen.
Yeah.
I love it. That being said, though, we're going to stray away a little bit from malts next week, I believe, right?
Yeah, unofficially, it's probably going to happen, but it will be happening either next week or the following week. I did a tour of St. Martin. It's called SXM Beer. It's the biggest brewery in St. Martin. They brew the beer there. And I did a tour of it. You can actually watch the video. It's on our YouTube channel. Go ahead and comment on it. Whatever you want to say. I don't care. Whatever gets us comments on it.
Counts as a comment.
Yeah, it's a quick 4-minute video. I went on the brewery tour there and got some footage of what that's like. So the guy who runs the tour there, his name's Dave. He's going to come on the show and kind of talk to us a little bit about brewing in St. Martin. And he's a tour guide, so I'm not sure. He doesn't do a lot of the brewing, but he's going to talk about the tour and just kind of what it's like being there. So
God, I'm going to ask some hard ass questions too, specifically about brewing.
And I magically got the beers for you, so I'm sending those out to you soon.
Yes.
We have things to send.
Yeah, we got to send some beer back and forth.
Yeah, of course. Legally labeled.
It's legal now.
Yeah,
it's legal now.
It's totally above board.
We get a tax credit for it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm sending it.
It came out of some draft lines at one point.
Boy, we're really stretching our taxes now. I sent it with a spare draft line.
Perfect.
And I've also written Charlie off on my taxes. Charlie is our dog.
Correct.
I just learned you write your dog off on your taxes, so I'm gonna try and figure that out this year.
I'm looking forward to that because you were down in St. Martin for a long time. We know St. Martin or SXM Brewing exists. So I'm looking forward to that. Just in general, I'm looking forward to trying the beer. I'd love to know some more about the facility itself. Because brewing in that climate is going to be different. It's like when we were down in Florida and they have some tanks outdoors.
Yeah, they're like fermenting just outside.
I was like, that seems
it's definitely an interesting brewery. It was very like islandy, like it's you could just kind of tell it was like kind of just thrown in there, and they just kind of put stuff where they need to. And when you're walking around for the brewery tour, like you can just go anywhere. It's very laid back. But they've also got a bar in the middle of it, so that's really fun.
That is cool.
So yeah, Dave's a good guy there, and they do tours for anyone on vacation. They go in there, you get a beer, you get a tour. It's like 40 minutes. It's fun. It's a good time.
Not bad at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
That used to be how they did things. Like, when we talked about with the woman from Ale Works, where she was like, we used to just only be able to do the brewery tour, and you got samples, and then you could buy off-site. You could take beer to go.
Yeah.
But you couldn't drink in here.
Right.
But it is fun to have a full beer, do a brewery tour, and then be able to go sit back down and have some beers as well. Like, I love those. Yeah.
They've got some interesting beers on tap. They've got a coconut beer that's not a dark beer, which I thought was interesting. It's like a coconut lager. That was fascinating. They've got the tropical ones for the Caribbean, but they do have one stout that they just did that was oddly refreshing, which was great because that's always a risk.
Export stout?
Ooh.
I don't think they call it that, but
yeah. Okay. Well, because they made it there, so it can't be an X.
I know, but the export style stout is the lighter
Caribbean style. Yeah, that like refreshing stout.
Yes, it's delicious. Yeah.
But really interesting. They've got a story to tell. They grew really fast, and you see them all over the island now. So
nice.
Good for them.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So we're still undecided if it's going to be next week or potentially the week after. So once we hammer out those details, we'll post it somewhere as well, just to remind everybody that it's been like 2-3 weeks since we've had a guest on. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So I'm just have to talk to y'all. Exhausting. Oh.
But that's it.
I think so.
Yeah, wrap it up, B.
I don't have anything else.
You got nothing?
No.
All right. Well, then go watch my video of the SXM beer tour, get an understanding of it. Follow us on our socials and come back next Thursday. We're here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. I say that with so much excitement.
Every time.
Every fucking Thursday.
Somebody forget next week. We need to really push TikTok hard. I want to get up to like 1 million followers right before.
We're huge on TikTok.
We are huge on TikTok.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
big.
Good night.
Yeah.
We're like 6 inches on TikTok. Just huge.
Oh, is that not huge?
I don't know why
It is
everybody's
huge.
laughing.
It is huge. Sorry, I'm not laughing. It's not funny.